Hello, and welcome back to another Eduro Learning video. Today, I'm really excited to be here with some of my favorite people in the world. I'm here with Diana, Nick, and Verena, and we're all part of the Coach Microcredential. Diana is a mentor, just like me, and Nick is a participant, and Verena is a participant. And Verena is working with Diana, and Nick is working with me, and we're kind of all over the world. So we thought it would be really fun to share the ways that we're all working together and in partnership through the Coach Microcredential in one Hangout to give you guys a little bit of a picture of what it's really like to be a participant and maybe a little bit as a mentor in the Coach Microcredential, because we're just about to launch our second cohort starting in May. So we're really excited about that. So welcome, you guys. I'm going to get started by just asking you to tell us a little bit about yourselves, kind of share where you are now, what your experience is in coaching, and kind of what you've seen in your positions, and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourselves. And I'm going to start with Diana. She is the mentor for the academy level, and she is working really closely with Verena. So Diana, tell us a little bit about yourself and your coaching career.
Well, I've been in education for over 20 years, so I've been doing a lot of coaching off and on, officially and unofficially. I'm currently a lead IT teacher at a school in Doha, Qatar. I've also worked as an instructional coach in the US, learning innovation coach in an international school in China. As Kim said, I'm currently a mentor for the Coach Microcredential. I also facilitate Eduro Learning's coaching from theory to practice, and I'm also facilitating a Cotel course right now. So lots of opportunities for coaching and working with people, and it keeps me busy, but I love it.
And you guys are going to be able to tell through this conversation that we have three amazing superstars here. Like each one of these people, when they tell you a little bit about themselves, you're going to be like, oh my God, how are they doing all that? Like I was just feeling when I heard from Diana. Okay, so next up is Verena. Verena, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your current role and experience?
Sure. It's my first position as a coach. I'm in Singapore at the German European School. I'm actually a primary school teacher. Language teaching I did for a while, but I wanted to go the direction of coaching. I got the chance here. There are a lot of opportunities for me. I can build momentums, but I also, of course, have a lot of challenges. We have two sections, we have two curricula, two languages. So it's a really challenging job, but it's super exciting.
Awesome. Thank you. And Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name's Nick, and I'm currently working in Phuket, Thailand at World College Thailand, so UWCT, and enrolled in the microcredentials, as you said, Kim, and also enrolled in Cotel currently with Diana, so working closely with both of you. I'm a kindergarten teacher by day, but also working in my free time and with some relief time to begin my coaching skills and hone my coaching craft. I have been working with the school right now to help integrate a digital citizenship within the primary school and beyond. Currently helping out a lot with the technology committee and starting to coach different grade levels within the primary school. So currently wearing a lot of different hats, but enjoying every minute of it.
And you didn't even mention that your wife is pregnant and like the baby is about to be born like any day.
That's right. That's right. Impending fatherhood is just right around the corner.
Yes.
So another hat that I'll soon put on. Yeah.
Okay, so first question is, what are some of the key takeaways of the microcredential for you so far? And I'll start with Nick, because you just had your mic released there. And just tell us a little bit about like, what are some key learnings that have happened in the first like I think we're probably 7 months in now?
Well, one of the major takeaways for me is the interpersonal skills that I've realized are attached to coaching. It's not simply just about technology, and the course does a really good job of conveying that this is for all types of coaching, whether it be literacy coach or a math coach. But beyond that, I think deeper is the fact that like it's all about relationships, and it's all about building those relationships, establishing those relationships, and really like continually, I don't know how to say, but continually nurturing it, and so that you realize that coaching is a lot about your people skills and dealing with people, and ultimately, like, that has been a really nice takeaway that I've discovered beyond the tech tools as well.
Awesome. And Verena, what do you think? What have been some takeaways for you?
I really started to reflect on my position. I started to redefine my position, and that's all because of my readings, definitely. So I realized who I am and how people see me by what I'm doing actually every day. So I'm a resource, I'm a tech support, but I'm not doing coaching in a different sense. I realized this big, and I also realized and reflected on how it is here at school. So that's my takeaway a lot, that I could analyze the situation I am in here at school, what I want to fight for, what I believe in. And of course, it's all about what Nick just said, you know, relationships. And I started here and there to change this already. So this is one of the positive takeaways already. Listening, being a partner, asking questions, you know, practicing this.
I think you guys make some really good points about the kind of deeper role that a coach has in a school, and that like interpersonal skills, but also the power, especially in international schools, that we have to define our role through the actions we take on an everyday basis. I think that's a really good point, and I appreciate, Verena, you're highlighting that the course gives you that time to like reflect on those things and really figure that out, so that not only do you make the role what you believe it should be, but how you can help your school best by like kind of molding and shaping that role into what works best into your situation. So I think that almost kind of like hits on kind of the next point. So maybe we can just kind of continue that a little bit, which my question is, how have you implemented some of the things that you've learned in your school setting so far, or how has what you've learned influenced your work on an everyday basis in your actual school? And I'll tag Verena because your mic is still open.
Even though I was disconnected for a second and I didn't get all of it.
How has the program influenced your work as a coach so far? How have you implemented your learning in your school setting?
Interpersonal skills, like Nick said before. I'm approaching teachers in a different way. I don't accept internally, not saying it out loud anymore, what app can I use or whatever. It's always about learning. I mean, my background is curriculum. It's not necessarily tech. So I'm asking way more questions regarding the curriculum. What do you want the students to know at the end of the unit and so on? This is completely different. I really try hard to listen more. Just to listen and be quiet and paraphrase, of course, but listening always helps, just to be quiet. I also try to think a lot about developing these learning leaders. You know, we started with a tech tree team. It's called at our school with the students. Here in primary, it's going. Today I spoke with my colleagues about creating a team of teachers who could lead the change, drive the change. So everything I learned so far is very perfect timing. It's a perfect timing that we are doing it.
That is so good to hear. And actually, I did another interview like this earlier this morning with some of my other participants, and they said the same thing, that the timing is spot on. And that's really great. And I think that part of that has to do with the fact that you can kind of mold the program to suit your needs. If you want to take digital citizenship now, that's what you take. If you want to take the coaching part, you take that now, or the leadership part. And I think that is really good to hear that the timing is working for you. Nick, I'm going to put you on the spot. How have you implemented your learning so far in your school setting, or like how has the program kind of influenced your work?
I'm going to piggyback off of what Verona said for a bit and agree that listening, just the ability to sit and listen and to kind of to seek to understand first before being understood, that has really helped. And again, going back to like nurturing those relationships, and you have to seek to understand in order to perhaps dive deeper into the person that you're coaching with, the skills, passions, hobbies, and then once you tap into some of those, you can kind of take that direction. And again, these are just some strategies that we've learned of building that relationship, tapping into their passions the same way you would with students, right? And you're now empowering teachers in a way that has allowed them to drive the bus, so to speak, you know, and that's really helped get us going currently at our school, because lately I've been trying to take the route around tech, like, you know, that sometimes could be an obstacle or a buffer. You know, some of the teachers might have a phobia of this or that, or they might not feel completely upskilled on certain areas, but you know, empowering them by, after getting to know them, you know, using their own passions to harness that energy is really helpful.
Awesome. And I'm going to put Diane on the spot. You've heard now some feedback from your two participants. What's kind of coming to your mind about the content of the micro-credential and how that's kind of coming through in the work that you do with Verena and with the other participants that are in the academy level?
So I was thinking as Verena and Nick as well, because I know them both working with them, and they're very reflective, and they talk about, you know, I'm getting this at the right time. I think what's happening too is they're finding the things that we offer lots of different topics, you know, with the readings, even though Verena is doing the same unit or a module as my other participant, they both pull different things out from them. My other participant that I work with, she's really focused on working with parents. So the things that she's reading similar, they're reading the same things as Nick and Verena, but she's pulling out different pieces that fit for what her position at her school, her goals, and that. So I think that's been it for me. You know, this is the Coach Microcredential. This is our first round with it, and we offer so many different options with it. And I think that they're able to pull out what works for them and apply it and reflect on it and set goals.
Awesome. And I think this conversation is a great kind of example of how we all kind of work together. The fact that we can be flexible and adaptable and kind of mold things to the needs of the individual, and kind of bringing that back to the individual person. I would love to hear from you guys a little bit about how we work together, how we communicate. Obviously, I know how I work with Nick, but I don't know how Verena and Diana work together. And also just like, maybe you can share a little bit of how that communication process works for people who are considering the micro-credential, but they're like, I don't get it. Kim lives in Bangkok, Diana lives in Doha, Nick lives in Phuket, Verena lives in Singapore. How do these people all communicate? How do you do a course online like this? What does that look like for you, for one, as a participant, and then I'll ask Verena, and then Nick, and then I'll ask Diana what it looks like as an instructor. So Verena, you're on the spot.
Yes. I don't think where we live is a problem anymore, not at all. First of all, we have the learning management system in the back, so the website, right? That's the main place to go as a first step. Then, of course, we communicate through email or Twitter, actually, like you just did with us as well, or with me. Then we use a video call more or less every second, every third week. We have a Skype or Hangout and we talk for an hour. So communication is going on all the time. And with the other participants, it's mainly through the learning management system, through the website. So it's easy. It's of course there's time difference, but it's still, we are anyways always online, that it happens quite timely, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think for people maybe who haven't done something like this, that at first is like, oh, actually that does work. So it's really good to hear you say that it's like, oh, it's easy. It's no big deal. There's a million different ways to communicate, and we're always kind of talking to each other, even if it's not in real time like we are right now. But the fact that we do have those scheduled in too means that you do have some face-to-face time with your mentor on a regular basis. So Nick, I'll throw it to you now. I know that Verena just really described that well, but in your opinion, how does the communication work, and like, what is it like for you as a participant?
Well, there's a part of the course that really talks about the importance of a PLN, and also introduces you to different tools about the many ways to connect, you know, and I think it's nice because the way our mentor meetings are set up, they really reflect the course. And so again, you're getting this practical information and then you're putting it to use right away. And, you know, so whether it's Twitter, from Diana, you know, tweeting out something for Coattail, or a flipboard, you know, our Google Hangout meeting that Kim and I do, you know, fortnightly usually. It's just great because you not only do you realize like, oh, the value that you're getting with these different ways to connect, but as you go deeper into the course, you'll find that the people you connect with on the LMS, it just grows. You get to know them a bit more. You follow them on Twitter, they follow you back, and then your PLN grows more. And then it's a cycle, and it's great. So I do like how the course itself is practicing what they preach, and it really becomes a network and a great cohort.
Oh, awesome. That's so good to hear. Diana, how do you feel as a mentor?
At first it's like, okay, fortunately I met Verena at Learning 2 in November. So we actually had that first face-to-face, and I think that really helped as far as like we know each other in person. But it's a lot of like, we email, I check in I'd say about every 2 weeks or so. We have a Skype or a Google Hangout. There's a time difference, but we figured out something that works for us. And I feel that Verena and my other participant, they're very comfortable and just emailing me, hey, can we have a chat this week? I really want to get some feedback on this. So I think this is a component that I haven't done this much in other courses I've facilitated, but having that, I think having that contact for me as well to check in, like, are things going okay? What can I do to support you more? I think that one-to-one contact has been very, it's really developed our relationship, our sharing. I'm coaching, and she's also coaching me sometimes in a way. We have really great conversations, and sometimes it's just okay, I just need to vent because this is really challenging me. And then, we work it out. I mean, there's, like, Verenas said and Nick said, there's multiple ways. Plus, they're also connected with other people involved in Enduro and who are in different places, and they have an opportunity to interact with them as well on our learning management system.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear too about the PLN and how you feel like not only is the course providing outside connections, but within the course kind of building your PLN, which I think is something that both Nick and Verena have experienced through Coattail, that kind of expanding of your PLN. And it's really great to hear that that's happening with the micro-credential too, which is of course exactly what we want, but it's really nice to hear you guys say that, yes, that is happening. So another question that people who are considering doing this, they might feel like it sounds like a lot of work. Like, how do you balance all of this? You are both extremely busy people. You have new kind of roles in both of your schools. How do you balance this extra study with all of the other commitments that you have, not just like within work, but also your personal life? And I'll pick on Verena first again, and then we'll go to Nick.
It is indeed challenging. I can confirm this, but I would tell everybody go for it because it opens my eyes. It gives you so many new perspectives on the topics. I have to self-discipline myself a lot, definitely. But what I like most is that it's so personalized. Like we said before, I can take what I need at the moment, and also what I create then, and what I reflect about, or what I want to plan for the next day or for the next in school. So it's very personalized. I like this. Same with Coattail. That's why I really recommend everybody to do it.
Awesome. Thank you. And Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, it takes a bit of dedication, and self-management, but it's really fun, especially because the course is so flexible, and you can bounce around to digital citizenship. You can go into the connected classroom a little bit. You can kind of go down to coaching, and what I have done is I've just found connections between what I'm doing in my classroom or with the leadership team or with the technology committee. What's the need maybe that needs addressed, and then learning and then putting it right into practice. And it's been wonderful because just like we get instant feedback on the LMS, it's almost an even greater authentic audience here when you're able to put into use exactly what you've just read about, and get that feedback back instantaneously, and those teachable moments, and then it just reinforces those connections a bit more. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what keeps me going. And then you kind of get into that mode of like looking for more connections, and then you can jump back into this part of the program or vice versa. So yeah, it's been fun for me, but yeah, it's certainly challenging. I've been advocating it to a lot of my friends as well. specifically because it's it's developed by coaches and people who are tech-minded, internationally minded, but also putting people first and putting the relationships first. So like I said, there's all good things. It's just a lot of fun, but again, you got to be dedicated.
And I cannot think of two more dedicated participants than you guys. I mean, you guys are amazing. So I totally respect and appreciate that it's taking you a lot of your own time and you're finding those ways to balance, because the work that you both put in and the quality and depth of thought in all of the work that you share is like so evident on a daily basis. So I'm glad that you feel like it's worth the time to make the time to do it, because I think it's very evident in the work that you actually do. All right, so last but not least, Nick, you kind of hit on this already, that you're mentioning it to some of your friends. What do you say to people who are considering the program? Like, people might be watching this video and thinking, all right, maybe this is something I want to do. What's the last thing, or what's the big thing you would want to tell them if they're considering taking this micro-credential? And Nick, I'll start with you.
Well, Verona kind of touched on it a bit. Like, it does change your perspective. It changes your perspective on what a classroom looks like these days, on the most modern and up-to-date coaching strategies as well. So I mean, it's a fresh course that you're not going to find in a master's program that takes 2 years to finish and probably has somewhat dated material. So I think the fact that this course has so many educators and people participating in the course that have their finger on the pulse of what is happening in international education, what is actually innovative, and it just it feels new, and that stuff is it's really compelling for me, and it's what keeps me engaged. And I know that other people have noticed the fact that I have been really advocating it, and I feel like the enthusiasm is spreading, and so it's contagious. I think they really will see the benefit when they start to grow their PLN. They'll see the benefit when they can make all these authentic connections. They'll see the benefit in their own teaching practice, how it teaches you to become a better listener. It teaches you, how to self-reflect on your own actions, and again, just very different perspective on dealing with people and working together, and especially when you're around a cohort, or you're involved in a cohort that is made up from people all over the world. You're constantly getting fresh perspectives, and yeah, it's been really nice to get that and constantly have that refinement and reflection for me personally.
Awesome, thank you so much. And Verena, what would you say to the person who's considering taking the micro-credential but maybe is not sure yet?
First of all, I couldn't agree more with Nick. And often I meet people, they dream big about education, but they don't know how to start the change. And I think this course, or Cotel as well, gives you practical hints or articles where you read something which you can implement immediately. And this dreaming big of changing innovation, changing the education, the teaching, the learning, is then possible in small steps, but it's possible. And that's why I think people should go for it.
Awesome, thank you. That's a really big compliment there. It's possible to change education. Take this micro-credential and you will learn it. I love it. Thank you. And Diana, as a mentor, what would you say to people who are considering taking the program but maybe aren't sure yet?
I would say from my experience as a mentor, Nick and Verena both really express it very well, is that you can adapt it to what you need. You can, both Nick and Verena are doing the same coursework, but they're finding different ways to do that. So I think it's adaptable. It is you have to dedicate the time to it, but it's possible. And I think I'm having the mentor, and our hope in doing that was that people would get the support that they need to go through the course and to do the works and to get feedback and that. So I think the fact that we're providing that support we'll encourage people as well, that we're not just, oh, here, read this, do it, you're on your own. We're here to support as well. So I'm very excited and proud to be a part of this, that it's really, it's a group effort, and that we can provide that support to reach goals. And that's the main goal of a coach as well, is just to support people in their learning and growth, and in meeting the goals and making the changes that they want to make. So I would say, that's a big part of what you're going to get when you enroll in this, is you're going to get a lot of support from your mentors, but also from the other people who are involved as well.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. You have all painted such a clear picture of what the program is like from both a participant and a mentor point of view. I really appreciate you taking the time today and sharing your feedback and sharing your thoughts with everybody. I think that this is a great way for people who are considering taking the program to really see what it's actually like. And you almost like get a little window into what the mentor calls are like, because basically this is pretty much what happens every 2 weeks, except it's just me and Nick, and it's just Diana and Verena. But this is it. This is what happens. We have a conversation. So thank you so much. Really appreciate all your time today. And those of you that are watching, please check out our website, eduralearning.com, and you can see more about the Coach Microcredential there, and check out all the different ways that you can kind of interact with us and learn about coaching from the team at Eduro Learning. So thanks, everybody. See you again soon.
Bye. Thanks.